Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Jamie, so I thought today I could make a quick little video about some things that we picked up on during our time in Bali. When I say we, I mean me and Aiden, but I thought I would just come and quickly give you some tips and tricks that you can use if you are planning a visit to Bali. So we have just been in Bali in August and September of 2022, and we have travelled there before actually. So overall we've done over 3 months. So we've done quite a bit of time there, and it has definitely changed the 2 times that we've been there. So this up-to-date information is going to be really good if you are looking to visit. So the first thing that you need to know, the most important, is just the basics of Bali. So Bali is one island in Indonesia. Indonesia is made up of hundreds of islands, and there's many that you can explore, not just Bali, if you want to see the whole of Indonesia. There are also many different areas in Bali that you can visit. I'm thinking about putting together either a blog post or a video of which are the main areas, what is each one like. So if that would be helpful for you, if you would like that information, let me know down below and I can get everything together and make that for you. But what you really need to know is the main areas. So for us, we spent a lot of time in Canggu, which is quite a good mixed spot. It's quite busy, it's getting a lot busier at the minute as well, but it's got beaches, it's got nightlife, restaurants, chilled out places as well, pretty much everything you need. Aside from that, there are 2 other busy areas, Kuta and Seminyak, which are very close to each other. And these are a lot busier, a lot more built up. There's big restaurants, big bars and clubs. So if you are looking for a really busy, kind of action-packed time, then you can definitely head to those areas. And if you do want it a little bit quieter, we really enjoyed our time in Uluwatu. We've got a video that has come out to show us exploring Uluwatu and all there is to do. We will put that in the comments down below so that you can check that out too if you want to know what it's like. So the next thing that you will need to know is when to visit. So Bali doesn't really have the same seasons as you might experience elsewhere. It's basically got 2, so the dry season and the wet season. We have visited in both and it really didn't affect too much our experiences, but you can get a bit unlucky with the rain. So the wet season is November to March. We have been there right in the middle of that. And really, I don't remember a lot of rain. It was pretty dry. If there was rain, it only lasted for an hour or 2, not days and days and days. So it didn't ruin too many plans, and we were able to plan around it and be flexible. On the flip side of that is the dry season. So it's a lot hotter, not as much rain, hence the name, but it is going to be a lot more busier. So if you want to get the best deals on hotels, it'd be a little bit cheaper because of less competition, and experience Bali a little bit quieter, then you can stick to the wet season. If you don't mind it being busy or your times coincide with the dry season, then stick to April to October, and I'm sure you will have a good time either way. Either season that you pick, you will still find many things that you can do. It's not going to ruin too much your time, even if it is raining a little bit. But if you would like some more information about the seasons, the temperatures, the best time to visit, then we do have a blog post as well, which we can put below. The next thing that you're going to need to work out is your visas. It is different from each country, so unfortunately I can't comment on everywhere, but most places you can just get a visa on arrival. So this is great for tourism. It lasts for 30 days. You pay when you get to the airport, when you land, and it's about £30. I'll put it here. It's 500,000 IDR, which is Indonesian rupiah, the local currency. And it can be extended, this visa, the 30-day visa, for another 30 days. So if you are looking for a little bit of a longer trip, then you can do 2 months, which is what we did. We found a really good company that extended it for us, did all the paperwork when we were in Bali to get those extra 30 days, and we can link that for anyone that's interested. You know that they're not going to be a scam, they're not going to take a lot of extra money, they're just going to help you with that process. And then the only extra thing that you have to do while you are in Bali is go to the immigration office, which is in Denpasar, the capital of Bali. It is not too far really from the different areas, so it's only going to take about a morning really. And you go, you have to give your fingerprints and a picture of your face, and then they will send everything back to the company. The company will sort everything out, return your passports to you, everything done, no worries. There are some different visa options for longer. You can apply online for 6 months, and obviously business ones versus tourist ones. This is all going to be on your government's website, so just check the entry requirements. That's what we do before we go to any country, not just Bali, to know what we have to get ready. I think we're on number 4 now. A really important thing that you need to know before you visit Bali. And I don't think this is shown enough on YouTube or Instagram or any social media, that Bali is crowded. Bali is not a secret haven anymore. Even if you are in pretty quiet areas, there are going to be a lot of tourists, especially, like I mentioned, in the dry season, in the peak season for tourism. So you need to expect that you're not going to be by yourself. You're not going to have hotels all to yourself. Maybe you might in different countries, and there's going to be queues, there's going to be crowds. If you are heading for the tourist hotspots, the attractions that people like to do when they are in Bali, then you are going to be surrounded by lots of people trying to do the same as you. If you are heading to Bali just for the pictures, which some people are, and that's absolutely fine, people travel in different ways, it's not exactly what we do. But if you are heading just for the pictures, you're going to need to be savvy. You're going to have to get up early to avoid the crowds, pick quieter places that you can get your pictures and your quiet sites all to yourselves. The next one up on our list of what you should definitely know before traveling to Bali is that the prices are very mixed. So we do have a whole video showing how we saved as much money as we could on one day. We tried to live as cheaply as possible as a challenge to see how cheap Bali really was. We have that video and we can put that down below as well if you are interested. But other than that, the prices are so up and down. Not that they change, although they will versus what season you are in. So in the highest season, prices might be a little bit higher. On top of that, when you are booking accommodation or going out to eat or doing anything in Bali, the prices are going to be very different based on what you choose. So there are absolutely luxury villas, there are accommodations that just look beautiful and they're going to be amazing to stay in. Or there are homestays or local hostels or dorms that you can stay in that are going to be a lot cheaper. So don't expect everything in Bali to be cheap. The extra thing that I can add to this is food as well. If you are wanting only to eat the Western food, it's going to be more expensive. If you want to go to luxury restaurants, have maybe some drinks along with it, then you're going to be spending a lot more. Some places we have found to be very, very similar to English prices. Some may be similar to London prices, which are a lot more. And we were not expecting this the first time we went. And the second time we visited, it had grown a little bit more as well. So if you are looking to save money, then definitely try to eat local. The local foods you can find for very, very low prices, and they're going to be just as delicious. You're going to try something new. So give it a go at least once or twice when you first land, and maybe you'll find some local restaurants, they're called warangs in Bali, that you can find and eat at over and over again to save yourself some money. Another aspect of Bali that some people may not be aware of is the culture that is very prominent in Bali life every day. Bali is just one island of Indonesia, and there is a big mixture, mostly Hindu religion, also a lot of Islam as well. And you might see some churches too. Where we were staying for a while, we were right next to a Catholic church. So there is a mix, but mostly the Hindu culture in Bali. And this is taken very seriously. There are lots of temples that some people can visit. Some of them are not for visitors. And if you are ever visiting them, you should really be respectful. Definitely cover your shoulders and try to wear trousers as well, just as a sign of respect to show that you understand to be a bit more covered up when you are in these religious places. The next thing that you'll notice to do with the religion is lots of little offerings that are on the floor all around. Sometimes they're at the entrances to shops or people's homes, and they are offerings to the gods. There's actually a lot of information about them. Each specific thing someone was explaining to us represents a different offering and a different protection from a different god. So they are really important to Balinese people, and you should make sure that you don't run them over on your scooter or step on them. Be really careful, keep an eye out for these offerings on the floor and just leave them alone. But all in all, being respectful of the culture that you are visiting is definitely a good tip, not just for Bali, for anywhere where you are going, to not offend anyone, any of the locals either, just so we can both enjoy our time in Bali. The next tip, which is pretty much the opposite of the last one, is that you are going to find a lot of westernized culture as well. A lot of what we see on Instagram, like I mentioned before, is Bali and a beautiful paradise, and you might see local people maybe on the rice paddies or working somewhere, and you can imagine Bali as this untouched paradise. Unfortunately, that is quite far from the truth, really. There are going to be places, if you are in the west of Bali or maybe in the north, that are a lot quieter and are like this, but otherwise you are going to find a lot of westernized culture as well. You can find pretty much anything that you have from your home country. So we saw things that was really interesting, like in the supermarkets you're going to find food that is pretty Western. In restaurants, we went to Greek, Italian, American. We went to lots of different Western restaurants as well. So bear this in mind. You're not going to a small, idyllic, very maybe traditional island. You're going to a tourism hotspot. If you want to miss out on any disappointment, just bear this in mind. Be aware of this, that the culture has become quite westernized in some parts. The last thing that we need to address is how COVID has affected Bali. So Aiden and I have been twice. The first time was in 2020, February, just before the pandemic started. So we left luckily just in time. But it was a lot quieter there. Actually, we've heard from lots of locals and people that are living in Bali that it has changed a lot. During lockdown, it was so quiet, but now it's actually bounced back a lot faster than maybe it even was before the pandemic. So post-pandemic travel in Bali is very busy, very popular. Unfortunately, there are some places that haven't bounced back the same and are struggling a little bit. A lot of our favorite places to go to, or at least a few of them, had closed down. Maybe they had moved, temporarily closed. So Bali has been affected definitely, which is why it's so important, like I mentioned earlier, to support the local warangs, to support the local stalls, to help them. They missed out on tourism, which is one of the main money-making ways in Bali. So support as many people, as many locals as you can while you are there to help regrow after the pandemic. I'm absolutely sure that I've missed something. There are things probably that Aiden would even mention that I have not, but to me these stand out as the most important things that you should definitely know before visiting Bali, so there's no culture shocks, so that you don't feel you've been misled into what Bali is like. And let us know in the comments if there's anything I've missed, if there's anything that you experienced in Bali that people should definitely know about before they get here. And if you need any more information, check out our previous videos, check out our blog posts, which go into a lot more detail. And I guess we will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and comment anything that you want to talk about below, and subscribe if you enjoy this content. We will see you soon. Bye.